Philip Anthony Mitchell is a well-known pastor, admired by many for his biblical knowledge, and much of what he preaches is received by the majority as biblical truth. Recently, however, Pastor Mitchell made a bold public statement declaring, "Jesus is not a black man."
Jesus was not a black man.
The audience cheered and agreed, which in itself is deeply disturbing. He went on to say, "I saw this well-known preacher on Easter Sunday. He was preaching that Resurrection Sunday, the death, burial, and resurrection they talk about, was all about the persecution of a black man, and how Jesus was a black man. And I watched as men stood up in the room shedding tears over this nonsense." I want to ask Pastor Mitchell, why do you think those men were crying after hearing that Jesus was a black man, persecuted and wrongfully sentenced to death by the government? Could it be that when they heard this, they finally saw themselves in the story of Jesus? That just like him, black men are targeted, mistreated, and condemned by their governments, and like Jesus, they were even hung on trees? Could it be that what they heard rang true in their hearts, and they were emotionally moved by the freedom that truth brought them? The fact is, if you read the Bible for yourself without the Eurocentric lens we've all been conditioned with, you will indeed conclude that Jesus was a black man. And yet, whenever this truth is presented, most Christians retreat to their favorite phrase.
It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. As long as his blood was red, it does not matter what color he is. But here's why it does matter. Around the world, countless black people reject the Bible, calling it a white man's book. And who can blame them, after centuries of being forced to accept the false image of a white Jesus? And after what a good majority of the white evangelical Christian church has caused great harm to them, from the slave-owning Christians to the Christians wearing white hoods, to the Christian nationalist, and the high number of Christian pastors who stayed silent during the unjust murders of black Christians at the hands of law enforcement such as Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and countless others. Some Christians even blamed the victims for their own deaths. The response of, "Well, they should have complied," is often their first reaction. Yet, this attitude directly contradicts the teachings of the Bible they say they abide by, to care for the poor, the downtrodden, the fatherless, and the oppressed. If the goal is to save souls, and multitudes are rejecting the Bible because of the deception of white Jesus, then why not tell the truth? If color truly doesn't matter, why cling to a lie? Why not acknowledge the truth that Jesus was a black man, so that more people might finally see themselves in the gospel and accept the Messiah? If it really doesn't matter, then it shouldn't disturb you to replace the false image with the truth, correct? If Christians would rather say that the truth of Jesus being a black man does not matter while simultaneously having no issue, promoting, supporting, and pushing the undeniable lie of a white Jesus, why should anyone ever believe anything else Christians present as truth? All truth matters, and should matter especially to those who claim to love and follow the truth.
Do you call it now?